Welcome back to Sports Hop Media. It's your boy Mac B. It's all the way official. I am live at the Mall of America. I have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Kordell Stewart, a.k.a. Slash. Kordell, let's talk a little bit about your NFL career and when you played the game versus how the game has changed up until now.
Well, everything it's all about evolving. When I came in, you had the Randall Cunninghams and the Warren Moons of the world and a few other great mobile quarterbacks before that. And then when I came in, you had initially the Jeff Blakes of the world in the game, and myself and Steve McNair came on the scene. And you even had the Steve Youngs and the Mark Brunells kind of doing their thing. So, that mobile quarterback way back when was having some success. And then, of course, I came in and just went from not just being a quarterback, but play wide receiver.
Right.
And then became one of the players on our team that helped us succeed, and then had a chance to go back to playing quarterback and had success doing that as well. So it kind of my style, and not saying this in a brash way, but it kind of sit in a category by itself, because not too many guys came in with one position, played another, and then went back to the one that they originally played and was good at both, other than Dion in his time, but it wasn't a quarterback. You could play safety, you could play linebacker, you could play special teams, but when it comes to being a quarterback, there's a certain way and approach they go about that position, because it's a very delicate one. It's all between the ears. You don't want to have to go through the process of coaching something that you're not accustomed to coaching, which is a guy that runs a lot or has as much speed on the team as your special teams returner has, or your wide receiver have, or even your secondary players have. So, you put it in perspective. It just became one of those things like when you grew up, right? Everybody in the neighborhood wanted to play every position. Right. And so all of a sudden you stick to your guns on the highest levels and not get jaded by the conversation going through the draft or going to the National Football League, being told that we want to change in other positions. But ask the question of, would you play other positions? And of course my answer was yes. But I also, once the opportunity came to have to do that, I asked the question, would I have a chance to compete for the job? And they told me yes. And so Coach Cowher stuck to his word. And I got to be honest with you, man, I played the game of football in the National Football League like I did at home.
Right, and I enjoyed watching you, by the way, and I feel like, coming up and seeing you do your thing with the Steelers, you were one of the pioneers, before the Wildcat. You were one of the more versatile quarterbacks who not only could throw it down the field, but you also had the mobility with your legs to make plays behind center, move you out to the slot as a receiver. I feel like you were one of the true pioneers in that regard.
Well, when it comes down to, because we start labeling certain styles, right? So, of course, the Wildcat comes in, and then you have the Colin Kaepernick way of doing his thing, and then all of a sudden you end up getting this RPO system that comes into play, right? Well, I did none of that. Everything was 3-step, 5-step, 7-step, bootleg, play action pass, with a touch of quarterback draws behind Jerome Bettis leading the helm. So it never was – see, sometimes when wanting to typecast a certain way to play and you can't do it, and you don't know how to cover it, which everyone's now become a guru, right? Or how to cover the mobile quarterback. Right. You have to just address it for what it is. Say, you know what? He was a better receiver than he was a quarterback. But he played quarterback pretty good. So what do we call that? Slash. And that's where you end it. That's all you can call it, is just slash. And hopefully at some point in time the recognition will come about. But, I think it is here now, because you watch the Russell Wilsons, you watch the Andrew Lucks, you watch the Aaron Rodgers. Okay, you watch all the other quarterbacks that are capable of being mobile in this game, that actually on every single week when they're having a chance, Alex Smith, they go out and perform by using their feet. And they're not always using their feet to find a soft spot in the pocket, because, see, that's Tom Brady. All right, that's Ben Roethlisberger. All right, that's who else? Kirk Cousins.
Right.
All right, that's those guys. But the guys I mentioned, the Alex Smiths, the Andrew Lucks, these guys run to do something, and I think sometimes allowing that to be a part of the makeup, because think about it. When you see the stats on a teleprompter or on a ticker or whatever with a quarterback, all you see is Aaron Rodgers, 28 of 31, 310 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. They don't say running touchdowns. Right. That's a part of the touchdown category. Right. It just doesn't go into the QBR and the QB rating when you actually go about your business with it. So I think it's one of those cases where the game has evolved, man, to where the speed of the guys on the defensive side of the football are so good, you can't do nothing but find a quarterback that can move in the pocket. Because if you don't, you're done.
That's a well-said point. Let's talk about life after football, Kordell. I understand that you have a book out. It's doing quite well, called Truth. Tell the viewers that are watching the show exactly what's going on with that book.
Well, to go back further, I'm raising my son. I have him and helping him get through his process. And I'm working with TuneIn Radio. It's an app in your phone. You can watch me on, myself and Brian Weber. We're on Monday through Friday, 4 to 7 Eastern. We talk everything NFL. Along with that, I do have my book called Truth. It's all about transparency. It takes you back from the time in which things started with me to the very end. And you finish that last sentence with a ... meaning there's a continuation of what there is to come. So it talks about, how I was raised, how my family was, my values, the things I believe in, the naysayers, the negativity, the rumors, okay? All that stuff that really helped create the character within me that gives me not just the drive that's normal when it's time to compete, but the drive in life to understand that, hey, if you stay the course and not be concerned with what everyone else says, and you allow yourself to understand who you are as a person, most importantly, because that's where it starts, because you're a human being first. Everything else will follow that human being, that being. If you're thinking positive, it's going to be positive. If you're concerned about getting people back and worrying about what people are saying about you, because let's get real about it, right? When it comes to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, when they had him walking through those certain hallways in those certain cities and getting crucified on, and he was one of the most perfect men that we know of based on what we read and how we study. When it comes to your fate, all I did was get my feelings hurt. Right. So I'm good at the end of the day. And losing my mom at 11, seeing her go through that process with lung cancer and seeing her wither away after knowing how strong she was. Come on, man. That's the stuff that we deal with in life. We deal with things because that's what we choose to deal with, not what we have to deal with. My dad, he just passed away in March of 2013. That was my main man. He raised me since I was 11 until he passed. So I'm like, at the end of the day, to see those two people who passed away by default, two of the strongest people in my life. Keep on talking. I'm gonna write another book. Because when it's all said and done in the end, just being able to take that story and put it in a book, how things happened in Pittsburgh, to how things end up, to where I am now in raising my son and my family being my support group. I'll be all right.
And speaking of the book, where can they find it? I'm assuming it's on Amazon. Talk to me a little about it. Is there a website associated with the book?
Well, you can go to Amazon, or you can go to my landing page in KordellStewartTruth.com. And you could find it there and be able to find and get you to Amazon a little bit quicker. But it's a great read, easy read, nothing hard. No pictures, by the way. So if someone's looking for pictures, they try to jump pages because they don't like to read too much. No pictures in the book. But
I like that.
Yeah, but it's not one of those books that's hard to understand. It's not way deep down underground. It's somewhat, hopefully can touch anyone's life that may have gone through things that were adverse moments in it. And if they can take those moments and use it to the strength of who they are, man, this place would be much better, man. And for those people who act foolish, you pray for those folk so that when your doors open for opportunities, they can bring you a grace just like you have for that individuals. But if you want to hate on those that's hating on you, then those blessings will be blocked. So far, my doors are wide open, and I'm fortunate. I've been blessed to have that faith within me, starting with my family, to the point where now it's allowed me to sit here and talk to you and hopefully tell this inspirational story that's even inspiring myself with talking about it and reading a book when I sometimes go back and read it and make sure nothing was added to it that I don't know nothing about. Because, every once in a while you forget some things, right. And so I just decide every once in a while to go back and read that thing to make sure that, that everything I put in it still has its same presence. And I want it to be timeless peace. And I think it is. And hopefully those who grab that thing, man, can truly appreciate it and know that at the end of the day, again, it's all about what you do. I lost a mom, I lost a sister, I'm still here. I lost my dad in 2013, still here. My father raised me by himself, I'm now raising my son along with his mom and doing her thing too as well, still here. So crazy stuff would say, rumors, still here. Ain't going nowhere. This picture and this opportunity for me is much bigger than what you think it is.